So, programming. Wow, this is another big topic. Uh, there's so many different aspects to say and about programming and the types of programming that can be done and the different levels of one's expertise or level capability within programming and all that. Hopefully, this snippet of information I'm going to provide gives the people, anyone who's interested in programming, some encouragement. And also, it's just kind of like a high level view that I have done a significant amount of programming in my own lifetime and in different languages. And I wanted to give some feedback based on that. And, I guess I'll start with, wow, I started programming kind of by accident. Okay, my father had bought me a computer, and this is a long time ago. So this is back in the 80s. An Atom computer made by Coleco, and I gotten that as a present for Christmas. Thank God for my father buying me that. And it was the basic programming, it was called, that was included with it, and it was something to do. I like to learn and play around with the computer at the time, which, wow, computers were fascinating. Can you imagine then at home to have a computer? But I really started with, the first program I really wrote was a three-line program. It was something like 10 print. I love whoever the girl was in my class at the time when I was in maybe the second or third grade. I put her name there, and then the second line was 20 go to 10, and the third line was 30 end, and that was in BASIC, and I ran it. And I remember the excitement I got from running the program and seeing the name, over and over and over again, rotating on the screen. I love, again, that girl's name, because I had an infatuation with girls and stuff like that. So, that's just part of me. But anyway, it was just amazing to see. Wow, I could see it on the screen. I was so excited, and that I built this, and that it's running, and then I could stop it. Then I could add a little bit of different string, like different characters into the sentence, the 10 print sentence. Add maybe some asterisks around it and do kind of a little more things with those few couple lines. So I mentioned in that simple story, because now it's years and years later, I still program. I'm not programming in BASIC. I have a couple different languages like Shell and some Perl and Java and those types of things, and that I program in today. But that simple premise that I had an idea that motivated me. It was something I wanted to build. I sat down, and this computer had a language that I had to learn some fundamentals of that language. At that time, it was BASIC language, and I had to learn the basics of that language to type in kind of like a few lines of instructions, which is code lines, instruction to the computer, and then have a mechanism to run the code that was written. And when it actually started running, I was so excited. I had like adrenaline running, the fact that I got this thing to work. And that same fundamental feeling still today, I have that when I have a problem in front of me. Of course, it's not a 3-line problem. It's a little more involved than 3 lines, but it's about creating, thinking about what I want to build, understanding the language that I can use to talk to the computer. Understanding the language enough, not the entire language, but understanding the language enough to write instructions down in the format that the development environment, the programming environment that's allowed for me to do in the computer. Then package all those instructions when compiling it meaning bringing it all together, and that's where it turns the instructions into machine code so the computer can understand what we're trying to do, and then being able to run it and see the result. Oh man, it's just such a wonderful, motivating feeling once that end is met. I will say that it is frustrating trying to get from point A to point B. Like, it's one thing to have the idea of what you want to create, and then trying to go through and make the program the way you want it to be and make it to do what you want it to do. It's not easy. It takes patience and time and iterations and going over and over and over again and making a lot of mistakes. And there's a method. Everyone has a different approach. But overall, it's been like great. And I just encourage anyone who's interested. Yes, it does take a little bit of problem-solving thinking, and it takes one to be willing to learn parts of a new language, which is, the programming language you're in, and it takes some motivation to want to try to push through frustrating parts of why you can't get things to work because the language syntax isn't right and things are missing and all those types of things. But once you get through beyond that and you accept that's the process, the fruits of enjoyment, if programming is something that you're interested in, it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't program, but the person who's really interested in doing that type of work or fundamentally for building something, the fruits are plentiful.